So, you know, for the last 2 days, all I hear is that, Russia, hacked people's brains, that Bernie Sanders supporters didn't, I mean, a lot of Bernie Sanders supporters did vote for Hillary Clinton at the end. A lot of Bernie Sanders supporters, sucked it up and voted for Hillary Clinton. But there's a lot of Bernie Sanders supporters that said, hell no, I'm not voting for Hillary Clinton. And now all of a sudden, you got this Senate intelligence report that Jen so wonderfully just reported on, that's showing that basically they're trying to make it seem like Bernie Sanders supporter and African American supporters, that frankly is kind of racist. They're suggesting that black people kind of got fooled, and that Bernie Sanders supporters got tricked into not voting for Hillary Clinton. So I decided, you know what? I'm not exactly like Gallup, but I'm going to do a poll. This is not a scientific poll. This is a Twitter poll. But I'm going to do a poll. So I did this, little old me. I did this Twitter poll a couple hours ago. And I said, for Bernie supporters or African Americans who didn't vote for Hillary Clinton in the general election, did you not vote for her because the DNC rigged the 2016 primary, her record, picking Tim Kaine as vice president, or the anti-Hillary social media memes put out there by Russia? Now, this is not a scientific poll, but, almost 1,500 people have voted, and we got 20 hours left, so I'm sure we'll get more votes. I thought those were, some fairly good options that people could leave for why they didn't vote for Hillary Clinton, for those that didn't vote for her in the general election. I could have added more options. I could have wanted to help get the Green Party up to 5%, which would trigger more funding. Hillary Clinton's a warmonger, but I thought that went into her record. I didn't want to have a gazillion options. But, color me surprised, the whole Hillary Clinton seeing, Jesus and Hillary Clinton going after Jesus memes, and what was it, Hillary Clinton as the Antichrist? Color me surprised that was pretty low on the totem pole. I mean, we will say it's at 3%, so it's not in last place. Picking Tim Kaine was in last place. And I thought that the responses to this poll were just so enlightening. So here you have Cornelio. The devil arm wrestling Jesus meme convinced me not to vote for Hillary. It was super persuasive. Oh, God, I'm trying to keep a straight face. How about didn't find anything particularly inspirational in her message that motivated them to go vote for her? It's a good one. And by the way, I can't guarantee you that Russia hasn't hacked these people's accounts and tweeted for them. I can't guarantee that at this point. I'm investigating. How about Dem Cowboys said, I've researched the Clinton family for years. Their history of policies and the resulting destruction caused in the AA community is appalling. The African American community. I don't know how to say that, but this is the one right here. How you would vote for her after seeing this. Like if you want Jesus to win. These people are obviously being super sarcastic. John R. Spain, there was the Dem National Convention where they threw out all the progressive interns and volunteers who paid their own way there and took their credentials, locking them outside. They blocked Sanders signs and let us know they didn't want our votes. I remember. I was there. I saw what they were doing. A lot of people said both A and B. Todd Apel says her long record and the fact that they didn't compete fairly on the issues and instead cheated and paid for trolls, astroturf, social media attacks, manufactured narratives, and lied every time they said something. They campaigned to center right, complete dishonesty. Mo is woe. As a first-time black voter, it was mainly her record and the rigging of the DNC, which I felt a big I told you all. when it was revealed she literally bought their debt to win an election that she then lost to a reality star, New York Dem, hooked on white idol and populism. Her record and Tim Kaine as the vice president. That the universal health care will never come to pass in America bit did it for me. Me too. I was there when she said that in that small gymnasium. Retta says all of the above. Omar, none of the above. I live in New York City. She was going to win the state regardless of my vote, so I voted third party to support in my state. I did the same thing when Obama ran his second term. No Russians then. I mean, I could go on. You should really go check it out. I mean, there's so many comments. I didn't even know this poll would get so many responses. I'm going to do more polls. You know, I find that so instructive because, you know, I'm not going to lie to you. I do enjoy fighting people on Twitter. Maybe as I get older, I'll like it less. But I kind of like fighting people on Twitter. And, you know, it's kind of insulting to me because I was on the campaign trail. I interviewed hundreds of Bernie Sanders supporters in 2016. Honestly, maybe even over 1,000 when you combine with the Democratic National Convention where I interviewed hundreds of them just there. So I think I have some concept of what drove Bernie Sanders supporters. I can't speak for all of them, and obviously I can't speak for African Americans, but there were black Bernie voters. I saw them at rallies, I saw them at the convention, I saw them at debates. So I can tell you that I literally never heard from one of them. Well, you know, I saw this post about Hillary Clinton on Facebook, so I don't like her. And what they're trying to do is basically throw your voices away. They're trying to throw the supporters, not just of Bernie Sanders, but progressives away. They're trying to make it seem like the only reason that people would support a candidate that's for Medicare for all, that's for major aggressive action on climate change, that's for breaking up the big banks, that's for free public college, that's for ending the wars, that's for ending fracking, that's for taxing the rich, that's for a $15 minimum wage, a progressive candidate. They're trying to make it seem like the only reason that people who want that wouldn't vote for a warmongering Goldwater girl who was for NAFTA, who called black people super predators, who was pro-TPP and then pretended she wasn't, that literally tried to convince Obama to go to war with Syria when she was Secretary of State, that pushed us into the Iraq War. They're trying to make it seem like the people who supported that guy chose not to vote for that woman because Russians posted weird memes of Hillary Clinton with Jesus on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Do you guys realize how ridiculous this is? I don't even want to be talking about this. It's so ridiculous. But I feel I don't have a choice. I think somebody needs to build a wall. To get these neoliberals out of the country. How about that? I mean, oh my God, I showed you this yesterday, but I got to show it to you again. Neera Tanden, in response to this story, that Bernie bros and black people were brainwashed by Russian trolls. I could tweet this 1,000 times. Oh, God. By the way, Jen, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Neera is a person of color. I don't know if she's black, I don't know if she's Latino, but I believe she's a person of color. So she's basically supporting a theory that Bernie voters or black voters were swayed by Russian posts on the internet from Russia, because there was never memes critical of Bernie Sanders that correct the record. A paid troll army and Hillary Clinton super PAC. There was never memes by them critical of Bernie Sanders, right? I mean, honestly, what's coming next, folks, and I want whoever knows how to technologically do this, well, you could just save this video. I'm telling you right now, folks, if Bernie Sanders runs again, or Bernie Sanders gets the Democratic nomination, if he runs as a Democrat, which I think he will, you watch them try to throw out some scandalous thing about, well, Bernie Sanders met with some people in Russia when him and Jane honeymooned there. Because, you know, him and Jane honeymooned in Russia. Not where I would honeymoon, but that's where they honeymoon. I guarantee you that's coming next. Well, who did Bernie Sanders talk to in Russia during his honeymoon? Who did he meet with? Why was he there? Why did he choose Russia? I have people on Twitter explaining to me what psychops is, and that people can be swayed through these operations. And I say to those people, oh, I guess that I was just like in a different country when I traveled around the country and interviewed hundreds of people at Bernie rallies, debates, and conventions, who all told me the same thing. She's a Republican, she's a warmonger, she's a liar, she's a fraud, she's not for me. She's going to send us into another war. She's going to keep tax cuts for the rich. She's going to keep fracking. She's not going to do anything on climate change. She's going to make climate change worse. And she's phony. And I don't trust her. These are all things I routinely was told. You saw it when I was at the Young Turks. I interviewed all these people. So this doesn't, by the way, I've said this over and over again. I just think it's preposterous. And honestly, the reason I'm talking about it again for the second day in a row is because I think it's going to get a lot worse, actually. I think it's going to get a lot worse. I think that the media and the Democratic Party, led by Chuck and Nancy, are going to try to make Russia, you know, it's a lot easier. You know, it's like, it's not so different from what Trump did, just in a less racist way. So Trump, in order to reach his political objective, found a way to blame the other, right? So Trump found a way to blame the other. He found a way to make people in economic pain in the Midwest and other parts of the country. Yes, a lot of them were racist too, but a lot of them weren't racist, and it was really an economic place they were coming from, where they got conned and fooled by this fake populist. But he was very, very good at getting them to look to the other, whether it be the Mexicans, whether it be the Muslims, right? Or the media, or the deep state. And there is a deep state, by the way. So now, the Democratic Party, and I put the media in with the Democratic Party, because they basically are the same thing. I mean, Jake Tapper is basically BFF with the Democrats. So is Anderson Cooper. It's getting to a point now where I keep CNN and MSNBC on during the day because I tend to think, know your enemy. I don't mean my enemy like, yeah, let's go after them physically or be violent. I just mean like, I want to know what nonsense they're spewing. I want to know what nonsense they're spewing. I can't even watch MSNBC or CNN anymore. It's like this McCarthyite Cold War reenactment. It's honestly scaring me to watch it. Between, oh my God, who just said it? Somebody just said it. Yes, .r. Wouldn't be surprised. Look at the idiotic reports on Dr. Stein's visiting Russia. Yeah, Jill Stein sits at the same table with Vladimir Putin, and now she's an agent of Russia. By the way, they keep saying RT America is like propaganda. RT America does more reporting on the Flint water crisis than America does. I've seen some of the best segments on the Flint water crisis on RT America than anywhere else. So I got news for you folks. Buckle up. Because as my poll shows, my unscientific Twitter poll, which now we have, oh, look at that. Now anti-Hillary, now social media posts, which they're saying affected or targeted or swayed Bernie Sanders supporters and black voters. Since I've been live, it's fallen to the last place. Now Tim Kaine has taken third place. We got almost 1,600 votes. You got Hillary's record winning at 57%. DNC rigged the 2016 primary at 38%. Tim Kaine being chosen as vice president at 3%. And right at the bottom, just what CNN and MSNBC and the New York Times and all of them are hysterical about, at 2%. And that 2%, I'm pretty convinced part of that is Neera Tanden voted. I think Neera Tanden is voting, personally. So, buckle up. I'm here to present the facts to you. I'm here to present the common sense to you. And I've said from the beginning, just because I'm pointing out that this is propaganda doesn't mean I don't think there should be an investigation into Donald Trump. I do think there should be an investigation into Trump. He's obviously corrupt. He's obviously a criminal. I think he's done money laundering with Russia for years. If you live in New York and you know about Donald Trump's business, he's done business with Russian oligarchs since the 1980s. He's also done business with Saudi Arabian oligarchs, Israeli oligarchs. I think it's clear that Donald Trump, during the campaign, was trying to build the Trump Tower in Moscow. Because of that, he was publicly kissing President Vladimir Putin's behind. That's clear. It's unethical. He shouldn't have been proposing good policies for Russia while trying to negotiate with Russia. I think that's unethical. I don't think it's a crime, but that's unethical. I've said if Mueller actually has some evidence or proof that the Trump campaign knowingly worked with the Russian government or Russian government officials to distribute stolen emails, I would think that's a massive, massive scandal. The problem is this investigation's been going on now for a year and a half, 2 years. If he has that evidence, you would think it would be out by now.